here's your wrestling news for December 15th, 2020. And your headlines for today include Keith Lee's odd gimmick, The Botch, and his subsequent loss to Miz and Morrison. Lana injured by Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler on WWE Raw. Latest update on whether she competes or not at WWE TLC. Lana asks the Pope to help her against Nia Jax. WWE's actual intentions to revisit Lana and Liv Morgan romance angle and the guy responsible for bringing it back are revealed. Kevin Owens reveals original plan for Vince McMahon's in-ring return after 6 years. Elias reveals why The Undertaker's WWE returns personally offended him. Why Rey and Dominic Mysterio were not on WWE SmackDown last week. Former WWE referee opens up about Triple H and his backstage politics. WWE Raw experiencing a much better creative situation this week. AEW teases plan for Sting on Dynamite this week, and more. We're starting off today with Raw, as this week's show saw Keith Lee face both The Miz and John Morrison with one of the worst botches in recent weeks. In their match, the plan was for Lee to pounce Morrison out of the ring, though the former ECW champion jumped far too early and was practically halfway over the top rope before Lee even got close to making a connection with his body. This was just part of a rough night for the Limitless One, who lost the handicap match to Mr. Money in the Bank and Morrison, and his coin toss promo wasn't received very well by fans either. Though Lee does desperately need a character beyond being a talented wrestler, it's safe to say that this coin toss gimmick isn't working, and with each passing week, it looks like the company's faith in the former NXT champion continues to plummet. Speaking of the red brand, Lana picked up the biggest win of her career by defeating Nia Jax this week, but this feel-good moment didn't last long for the ravishing Russian. Post-match, Lana received a beatdown by both Jax and Shayna Baszler, causing injuries to Lana's knee and elbow before Asuka was able to make the save. Though this beatdown was brutal, Lana's husband Miro was able to see the funny side, as he tweeted a photo of his wife pinning Jax, joking that he taught her this rather intimate pin the night prior. Even before the match started, Lana realized she was in hot water, as mere hours before the match she tweeted Pontifex, the official Twitter handle of Pope Francis, asking His Holiness for help from a higher power that isn't Mr. McMahon circa 1999. All jokes aside, it was later confirmed during Baszler's match with Dana Brooke that Asuka will need to find a new partner for this Sunday's women's tag team title match, as Lana hasn't been cleared to compete. There's no shortage of potential partners for the Raw Women's Champion, as Brooke defeated Baszler by DQ when she was attacked by Jax, though her own partner Mandy Rose returned to WWE this week with a kendo stick to lay out the tag team champions. Given that Brooke and Rose are already a team, it doesn't make much sense for either woman to be picked, and given speculation that Charlotte Flair is set to return this month, it's entirely possible that she'll be teaming with her WrestleMania 34 opponent this Sunday. But who do you think Asuka's partner should be, and do you think it's fair to take Lana out of the match? Sound off in the comments. More Lana news next, as we previously reported that there are plans to revisit her romance angle with Liv Morgan, but it seems that only Lana thinks that this is a possibility. When Ringside News investigated the rumored plans for a follow-up angle, they were told there's no consideration for this angle to be brought back, and the storyline is long gone in the eyes of practically everyone important backstage. In Vince McMahon's inner circle, which only includes a handful of names like Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn, nobody is pushing for the lesbian love angle to be brought back, and the fact that Lana is on Raw and Morgan is on SmackDown, in addition to both women being involved in storylines already, doesn't help matters either. It's always possible that this angle could be revisited, or at the very least mentioned down the line, if Lana and Morgan end up on the same brand. But for now, the angle will remain a one-off segment that was never followed up on and done purely for a shocking moment. We're looking back at WrestleMania 34 now, as that night Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn faced Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, marking the Yes Man's first match since retiring 2 years prior. This week, though, it was revealed how that match nearly didn't happen, as during an interview with Alex McCarthy, Owens revealed that the initial plan was for himself and Zayn to face Shane and Vince McMahon. It would have made sense given that Owens had busted the chairman open with a vicious headbutt on the September 12, 2017 SmackDown, and we're still unsure how the chairman was able to blade himself without being seen. Ultimately, the father-son team never materialized, as Shane and Bryan teamed to defeat Zayn and Owens at WrestleMania, and although the match was a welcome home moment for Bryan, 2 years after he'd been told he had to retire, we can't help but wonder what the chairman could have done in the ring. One man who didn't enjoy WrestleMania 34 was Elias, who was humbled by John Cena that night, and recently the former 24/7 champion appeared on Lillian Garcia's Chasing Glory podcast, and had plenty to say about his career and especially his run-in with The Undertaker. Speaking about names like the Deadman, Kane, and Shawn Michaels taking up TV time with their various returns, Elias said he had some resentment for the legends, believing that this precious airtime could be used for something else. He said, "I would get personally offended by that. The reason would be that I should either be in there with those guys and learning from them, and they should be passing on the knowledge, or they should just not be there because it's the new guys' time. That's how I felt. I had a little bit of anger towards that generation." Elias went on to explain that his attitude changed when he watched the Last Ride series and realized that the Phenom is aware of the fact that he's taking up time as well. "I was like, oh, let me put myself in this situation and get paid incredibly well. One of the best of all time. The fans go absolutely insane for the guy. It softens me to go, oh, I get it, and I don't have that anger that I did have before." The Undertaker gave his final farewell at last month's Survivor Series, and it's doubtful we'll ever see him compete in the ring again, but perhaps one day it'll be an older and accomplished Elias who's called in to make a return after establishing himself as a legend of the ring in his own right. Over to SmackDown now, as last week's show didn't see Rey or Dominic Mysterio, despite both men being a staple in recent weeks. According to Ringside News, the reason the Mysterios weren't on the show was simply they weren't booked, and Aaliyah wasn't around because she travels with them. This puts to bed any rumors of the Mysterios having time off for the holidays or hanging around backstage, and instead, fans saw King Corbin and his Knights of the Lone Wolf have a backstage segment where they revealed their new name. The story isn't over for the Mysterios at all, as they'll be back when the time is right, though that time simply didn't come last week. Now, WrestleMania 18 was a historic night in wrestling, as it saw The Rock face Hulk Hogan in the third-to-last match on the card, though many still feel it should have been in the main event. Former referee Mike Chioda certainly feels that way, as while speaking to Mailbag Monday on ad-free shows, Chioda said that Chris Jericho, the then undisputed champion, didn't feel his match with Triple H should go on last. He added, "I think Triple H didn't want to give up that title match main event at the end. That energy was taken out of that crowd. I felt bad for that last title match because the energy was sucked out of the crowd." Chioda added that a professional rivalry between The Game and The Rock may have also caused Triple H to push for his match to go on last, which saw him win the undisputed title after returning from his 2001 quad tear. Nearly 2 decades later, there's still a belief that Rock Hogan should have gone on last, and whilst it was a match worthy of the main event spot, that wasn't meant to be in Toronto's Skydome. Back to the present, and this week's Raw served as the go-home Raw for WWE TLC, and the mood backstage was reportedly much calmer than it's recently been. According to Fightful, Vince McMahon had most of this week's show locked down in advance, which explains why they were able to announce so many matches before Raw went live, and is far different to how things usually go. We've had plenty of stories this year of chaos backstage in WWE, with rewrites happening at the last minute, so it's good to hear that was avoided this week, as the majority of the show was completed by Monday morning. Time will tell how long this piece lasts backstage in WWE, as the company will start to be building towards the Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania 37 soon enough. But we're confident the creative team breathed a heavy sigh of relief when the chairman didn't tear up the script at the last minute like he's done before. AEW news next, as Sting's debut continues to be a huge talking point, and the Icon will be back on Dynamite this week. On Twitter, AEW teased what fans could see this Wednesday, as they addressed Sting's interaction with Cody Rhodes on last week's show, hinting that their program will continue. On last week's episode, Sting dismissed the American Nightmare to pay some attention to Darby Allin instead, and we'll have to see what all three men do this Wednesday as the company builds to Sting's first AEW-sanctioned match down the line. Back to WWE, and whilst it's been made clear that Goldberg wants Roman Reigns, a match WWE doesn't currently have interest in, there is someone who wants a piece of the Hall of Famer. Speaking to the Metro UK newspaper, Kevin Owens said that he'd love to wrestle Goldberg again, but specified he only wants the match if Goldberg, quote, was here to work and put on more than a 2-minute squash. The last time these two crossed paths was at Fastlane 2017, when Owens lost the Universal title to Goldberg in mere seconds thanks to Chris Jericho. And with the prizefighter set to face Roman Reigns for that very same title this Sunday at TLC, a championship rematch is a possibility down the line if Goldberg is willing to wrestle a substantial match. That wasn't all Owens had to say this week, as a few weeks back he teased forming a tag team, plans that were never followed up on thanks to his singles program with Universal Champion Roman Reigns. While speaking to Alex McCarthy this week, Owens was asked about having a tag team partner and said he's pitched several partners, including Mustafa Ali, AJ Styles, and Apollo Crews, but they've all been rejected. WWE went with different plans for all three men, and with Sami Zayn, Owens' longtime friend, who he said recently he'd love to be a tag champion with, currently a dastardly heel, it may be a while before the prizefighter ever holds tag team gold. Now, we reported earlier that Charlotte Flair could be back this Sunday to team with Asuka, but the Queen of All Eras has more on her plate than a possible women's tag team title match. In the trailer for Season 2 of Straight Up Steve Austin, Flair is one of the many names confirmed for the show, which will include Ice-T, Brett Favre, Steve-O, and many others. Season 2 is set to premiere on the USA Network immediately after the January 11th Raw, and time will tell whether Flair's made her return to the ring between now and the season premiere. And we're ending with news from AJ Styles, who's considered one of the most talented and charismatic names in WWE in 2020, but not everyone has always felt this way about the Phenomenal One. During the latest episode of the 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff discussed Styles' TNA tenure, specifically his work in Fortune, and said that he and Hulk Hogan liked Styles in the group, but felt that he lacked character. Bischoff added that part of the reason Styles was put with Ric Flair in TNA was to see Styles' character grow under the tutelage of the Nature Boy, and given his work in recent years, it's clear to see that the Phenomenal One has grown greatly from his days in TNA wrestling.